Hello everyone, this is Jay with Positrak, and today I'm going to go over some of the new features of Positrak Pro version 2054. This is a quite a big version here, a lot of new updates, so I'm going to hop right in and show you a few things, and then there will be some further videos with detail, more detail on some of these features that are just too much to put into this one video. So let's start with point of sale, and the stock check screen is one of the places where we made some adjustments. But before I do that, I'm going to put a few items on the invoice to show you what you can do now. So if you have a few numbers on the invoice, you can hit stock check stock button, and if you have a number there in point of sale, it'll start with that one. But if you have a number of parts on the invoice, you can use the drop down to automatically just jump to those numbers. So the purpose is if you're working in the catalog and you need to check a series of numbers, part numbers that you may be out of, you can just add them to the invoice, either manually or from the catalog, and then you can hop into the stock check screen, and you can flip between the numbers to see what the warehouse availability is, and you can go ahead and add them to the order, and flip through the various parts. The next thing also in point of sale is we have added a new feature, and this is an option that will need to be enabled in preferences. But you can, with an account, with any account, you can track a vehicle transaction history on an invoice. So you can set this up, for maybe some of your accounts that have fleet vehicles, and you need a little more tracking. Maybe they call up and ask you, hey, when was the last time such and such vehicle was in? Maybe you have a little shop attached to your parts store. This could help you with tracking that history on specific vehicles. So you can add a vehicle to an account directly here from point of sale by clicking the little plus icon, and if it's got a car number, a fleet number, truck number, whatever, you can put that in, put in a VIN number, a description, and any notes that you want. And I have already added one for this account, but you can do a ticket to this account, hit finalize. It prints it on the, it does print it on the invoice if it's selected. When you go to finalize, it will print that on the invoice. And it also goes into the transaction history, so that if you were to pull up transaction history for this account, you can see that I've done a ticket to this account with this vehicle selected. And you can also search by that as well. So if they have a number of vehicles, you can put in a vehicle number, and you can search by that. So that's all for that. Next, in the inventory screen, when you pull up a number, we've added a new field called initial stock date, and the purpose of this is to track when you actually put this number into stock. So today, just before I recorded this video, I added an on hand for this number that wasn't previously stocked. So it automatically updated the initial stock date to today. And you can edit those manually. You can change them if necessary. But if you put a number into inventory, either through the inventory screen or the fast edit screen, it will record that initial stock date. And that is to be used in conjunction with the reports menu, the report generator, the zero sales report. And the purpose is to exclude any numbers from a selected date, after a selected date. Previously, if I had just put that into inventory and I didn't have any sales, it would show up on the zero sales report, which is really is invalid. So this will let you specify a date, and it will exclude any numbers from that zero sales report that you've just put into stock. So if I were to uncheck that, that 24030 would show up, along with the initial stock date there, 10/14. So that will help you get a better picture of your zero sales report. There have been some adjustments in the reports screen as well. First of all, there's been a quick jump added up here at the top right. So as soon as you get into the report screen, you can, if you just want a quick way to see a report on a line code, cost, core, on hand, you can just type in a code and go. And you'll see there's some other fields added here too. The extended cost and the extended core was also added to this display, as well as a cost value down at the bottom. And if there is a core value, also that would show up down here at the bottom as well. Also in the report generator, the cost and the core was cost value and core value was also added down at the bottom. That way you don't have to. Previously, you had to go to try to print it to look at to actually see the cost value of the line that you're trying to look at. So made that a little easier for you. Next, in the purchase order menu, we have a feature in that. When you're creating a PO, and I'll just start a PO here. When you create a PO, there's a price and availability check. Now this feature has been around for a while, but we have optimized it quite a bit. It's a lot faster. If you had used it before and it was a little slow, try it again, because we've been able to make it a lot faster. So what this will do is this will allow you to check price and availability from whatever vendor you have set up. It will go out and it only takes a few seconds, and it will go out and check pricing and availability on this order. And it drops another column out to the far right with the warehouse availability, and you can see the quantities that they have in the warehouse, so you'll know that you'll get your parts. Now, for the ones that are zeros, this is what the new feature does. There's two buttons at the top. There's a transfer and a remove. And what these do is they take the zeros, the unavailable items, and you can either transfer them to another PO and send it directly to another location, or you can just remove them from this PO. And that will, if you just remove them, that will allow them to come up on another PO if you want to check another location, check the availability there to see what they have. So either one works. If you just remove, it will take off the unavailable items, and then you can save and send that on to the warehouse, and knowing that you should receive all your parts. There's been some enhancements with barcode scanning if you use that feature. First of all, in the price updating menu, barcodes have been added to our pricing server, and you can see that there's a new column here that we've added in there for barcodes, so you can download and load barcodes directly from the price updating menu, quite a bit simpler than before. Also, we have added support for master pack or case quantity scanning with items that come in cases, oil, chemicals, and such. You can store the case barcode, and you can scan that, and this works at point of sale. It works when checking in a PO. It works with doing fast edit when you're checking inventory. So if you were to scan the normal barcode, it would just come up as usual with a quantity of 1 if you scan just the individual product. But if you were to scan the case quantity, the case barcode, it will populate it with the package quantity. So whether you're selling the case at a time, instead of scanning just the individual item and then changing the quantity, you can just scan the case. And again, the same thing in the purchase orders. If you're checking in a PO, you can just scan the case and not have to edit the quantity. So that should streamline things quite a bit. Well, that's it for the release notes. There are more release notes. There are more features in this version, 2054. You can find those on our support site at positraksupport.com, and you can read the complete list there. So thank you very much.